I have to start here by being upfront about something. I have not played many rhythm games. My most played game in the genre is Beat Saber, and when I was much younger I played more simple games like Donkey Konga and a little bit of DDR. So at first it might not sound like high praise when I say that Rhythm Doctor is the best rhythm game I've ever played, since I really don't have much experience with the genre. However, I do think there really is something special here that is exceptional among rhythm games, which makes this my game of the year for 2021 so far. Rhythm Doctor's greatest strength is its incredible simplicity. The game only uses one button, which you simply need to press on the specified beat. There's no second button introduced throughout the game, but that doesn't prevent the game from iterating upon its gameplay. For some examples, early on the game introduces polyrhythm, or two different beats to keep track of at the same time. Sometimes the beat will swing, which switches up timings from what they would usually be. Sometimes there will be a part of the song that you need to ignore, contextualized in the story as another doctor treating another patient at the same time with their own rhythm that you need to learn to block out. There are some other twists that I won't spoil, but I think this is enough to show how this game's gameplay remains fresh by constantly iterating upon itself all the way to the end, which makes for a masterfully designed and thoroughly satisfying learning curve. You might think that a rhythm game is only as good as the music you can play along to. Fortunately, Rhythm Doctor's soundtrack is varied, enjoyable, and additionally gels with the gameplay and narrative very well. I think the best songs are the more relaxed ones, like the songs that play during 1-2, 2-3, 3-1, and 4-3. The songs with lyrics were initially slightly jarring to me, but as I've gone back to get full clears on the levels, they've grown on me. The music might not be something I'd personally listen to in my free time, but it's always very fitting. Before going on, I have to preface that I have not interacted with this game's custom content in any way, and furthermore that I think it would be unfair to judge it or any game on its custom content. All I can do in this situation is judge the map editor available in the game, which is, from what I can tell, very robust and fairly approachable. Additionally, thanks to Steam Workshop integration, playing custom maps is a simple and fluid process. I'm generally not one to seek out massive amounts of custom or modded content for games I play, which is why it's great that Rhythm Doctor stands on its own without being propped up by its custom content, unlike some other rhythm games I've played. The game's narrative isn't really something I feel comfortable levying criticism at right now, considering this game isn't finished yet. It ends very abruptly because the game isn't finished. Character arcs are abandoned because the game isn't finished. But despite this, I do like where the game is going with its narrative. The dialogue and characters just exude an infectious positivity, and some of the humor present in the game is pretty good too. The narrative is very simple, but that's a positive. It's just something in the background that can act as another motivator for continuing the game, which is never a bad thing. As a final point, I want to talk about the boss levels, in as spoiler-free a way as I possibly can. These are the best parts of Rhythm Doctor by far. Each one ramps up difficulty and introduces a challenge not seen in normal levels. They're the most creative parts of a game that is already packed in with so many great gameplay twists and creative ideas. If you look at the Steam reviews for this game, you'll see one name echoed louder than anything else: 2X. And this is for good reason. This level is beyond words, though maybe not in the way that it's particularly emotionally gratifying, but more that its charm would be trivialized by trying to describe it to someone who hadn't experienced it. This game is worth playing just for this level. It's something that you have to experience firsthand to truly appreciate its charm. But even as 2X is one of the best rhythm game levels I've ever played, there may be something more incredible in this game. The game's current final boss might just be better than 2X because something incredible happened while I was playing it. Something that I have reason to believe is unique among other rhythm games. I closed my eyes. If you've ever went out of your way to lie down, close your eyes, and put all of your focus into a piece of music in order to truly get familiar with its intricacies, you'll understand why this is such a strong concept, and I think this is what makes Rhythm Doctor exceptional among rhythm games. It asks players not to focus on a stream of notes visually coming their way, but rather on the music itself. Oftentimes, that's a weakness in rhythm games, to play primarily with your ears rather than your eyes. Complete and uncompromising simplicity allows Rhythm Doctor to truly be about listening to music, rather than watching for inputs synced up with music. As far as I can tell, it's the only rhythm game that I can truly play with my ears. which is why it's the best rhythm game I've ever played, and why I have reason to believe that it will continue to be that way no matter how many I play in the future. So I thought I would take the time here to give a channel update, since there are a decent number of people subscribing to this channel and watching the Fez video at least. I said in the credits of the Undertale video that I didn't plan to stop making the long-form video essays, and if you did subscribe because you saw that, I'm going to apologize here for the streak of shorter videos. Much of the time in the last two went into playing the games and grinding out the difficult challenges, and I don't have as much to say because they aren't particularly narrative heavy. However, now that I've finished this video and the other video I released today, and now that I'm out of school for the summer, I'm going to have more motivation and free time than I already had to get something long-form out. I've also been very patiently waiting on a specific 2021 release that is essentially guaranteed to at least warrant a full-length video. I won't name it since I don't like spoiling things I'm working on, but you can probably infer what it is based on the kinds of games I have already written about. But even if that game doesn't come out in time, I still have something to work on, so it's not dependent on that. My hope is to have at least one full-length essay out before the summer's over, but keep in mind, it's not a guarantee. I work on these things in my free time, and I may just decide to put it off like I usually do. I'm optimistic, but don't be surprised if it doesn't happen. Aside from that, I'd just like to say thanks to those of you who watch my other videos and subscribe to my channel, and an extra special thanks to the people who comment on my videos. I read every comment I get sent, even though I don't respond to many of them. The overwhelmingly positive reaction has been great to see, since I was concerned from the beginning that I would look weird putting these things on the internet. So thanks, and hopefully I'll have something to put here in the near future.